I want to welcome you back to Boxing Jabs tonight. We're going to talk about the possibility of Josh Taylor fighting Terrance Crawford. Josh Taylor tomorrow will be fighting Jack Cantrell in a homecoming fight. Josh Taylor is one of the most underrated fighters in the world. You know, he is the undisputed junior welterweight champion of the world. He went through undefeated Regis Progress. He went through Ramirez. And possibly, if he beats Jack Cantrell, well, I expect Josh Taylor to beat him. Next could be Terrance Bud Crawford, who under some rankings is considered the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. This would be a mega fight if they could take it overseas, possibly to Wembley Stadium. It would be a huge fight over in England, Scotland, and all of the United Kingdom. Josh Taylor is one of the most fundamentally sound boxers in the world. He's an exciting fighter. He's one of those fighters, if you pay $100 to go see him, you're going to get your money's worth. And Terrance Bud Crawford, still undefeated after all these years. This could be the fight that puts him in historical references. You know, the fight between him and Errol Spence Jr. seems like it's not going to come on. But if he can get the Josh Taylor's fight and possibly add a catch weight of maybe 145, this would be a mega fight that everybody would want to see, possibly in the summer or early fall. We have two technically sound fighters, two fighters who are both southpaws, two fighters who know how to use the angles, who know how to put pressure on, and who knows how to throw body shots. Bob Arum said this fight can be easily made, even though Terrance Crawford has filed a lawsuit against Bob Arum for some kind of discrimination. Terrance Crawford right now, he's not signed to fight anybody. Basically, it's either possibly Josh Taylor or Keith Thurman, or he can go up and fight Jermell Charlo. That's if he beats Castano at 154. But the Josh Taylor fight is something that's on the table right now. The money was good. They can make good money off the European pay-per-view audience and some here in America. Josh Taylor is huge over in the United Kingdom. And I'm telling you, this will be one of the most anticipated fights in the world in this weight division. Because people want to see champions fight champions. This is how you determine who truly is great in this game. This is what we call a separation fight that most people would love to see. This is why I love boxing, but it doesn't happen all the time. Back in the day when I was a child coming up, I saw the great fights. Leonard Hearns, Hearns Hagler, Hearns Duran. I saw those fights. And those fights was coming every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. It didn't take years to fight. And this is the fight that should be done between these two great gladiators. And I am so disappointed that I can't see the Errol Spence Terrance Crawford fight. But instead of that, if you give me Josh Taylor versus Terrance Crawford, I'm happy. I'm putting my money down to see this fight because how great these two fighters are. I expect Josh Taylor to put on a show against Jack Cantrell. I think Jack Cantrell, this is a homecoming fight. This is the type of fight where Josh Taylor is going to give his fans something that they deserve to see. He's going to put that whooping on him. He's going to put that lashing on him. Because that's how great I think Josh Taylor is. And people just do not talk about Josh Taylor enough. Josh Taylor is the type of fighter that too many people underestimate. He's the type of fighter that comes through in the clutch. And I believe if he fights Terrance Crawford, he's going to fight on home court. He has to take that fight overseas because I think they can maximize the dollar amount if they go overseas. Huge stadium crowd. Maybe 65 to 75,000. It's going to sell out because of who the two fighters is. And this is going to be a historical fight in boxing history. You got to have this fight. It has to happen. And it has to happen now. I want to thank you for listening to Boxing Jabs. I hope you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button, but also share this video.